how impressed he was with how our players have held it together with this gigantic cloud that is hanging over the head of this program right now, the uncertainty. And I think people need to recognize that these players have done a tremendous job in focusing on the games, the preparation, and being at their best. You know, with all that is going on, we are 6-1. We're ranked 18th nationally and 5th in the region. And that's pretty doggone good. And with all the potential negativity that exists, to be in that position and to have the season that we're having, give credit to these players. They're the ones that have stayed focused on what it is that's important to them, and that's this season and doing the best. And my assistant coaches have done a great job as well in making sure that these players are getting our best as coaches, and that we're preparing them and doing our job, even with these uncertain times, and we will continue to do just that.
I just wanted to see if you could comment. Last week, talking with interim AD and the president, wanted to find out a deadline when they are going to, make an announcement. Now hearing that it could be the last football game of the year, it could be, later. For you guys, does it help at all to kind of know the future earlier rather than later? I know obviously recruiting and everything like that, but kind of wanting to know, hey, what's going to happen? Does it matter if it's knowing now or
well, think about the position our players have been put in. Many of them want to continue, most of them want to continue playing football. Okay, and if that's not going to be here at Humboldt State, then they want to be able to play somewhere else. Should they be applying to other schools right now? What about spring semester registration for classes? Should they do that? These are the questions that I'm being asked by parents and by players. What an unfair situation to be placed in as a college student athlete. But it is what it is. So obviously if to do right by these players, the earlier decision, the better. As these are futures that we're talking about. Players that are in the program, coaches, again, this is our livelihood. It's what we do. It's how we support our families, and we immerse ourselves in coaching. It's just the nature of this profession. So again, I give so much credit to our players with all that is going on, that they have stayed focused on the preparation. They're still enjoying the process. Our seniors, again, Jaquan Gardner was the last person to leave that field Saturday night. I was up in the press box doing the post-game interview, and I'm looking down there, and he's taking pictures with little kids, with other families, and such. How special is that to have a guy here? He just ran for 200 and some yards. I know he's carried 66 times in the last 2 weeks. So if anybody had a reason to get in the locker room and get that gear off and get into a warm shower, it'd be Jaquan. But there's a guy that gets it. He's embracing the process, understands that there are a lot of youngsters out there in Humboldt County that look up to him, in awe with what it is he is, with the type of athlete he is, but more importantly, the type of person he is. And we've got so many players just like him. We really, really do. And I think it's completely unfair what they've been. You look at this senior class. You've got the career passing leader in Robert Weber, the career rushing leader in Jaquan, All-American and 3-time Lineman of the Year in Alex Kappa. You got local players that have done so much here, like Josh Hansen, a 4-year starter, Lucas Bill. And these guys, instead of being recognized for what it is they've done and contributed to Humboldt State, have been put in the position where they now have to provide the leadership because of the uncertainty, where a lot of younger players are now coming to them, hey, what should I do? What's going on, type of thing. So it's interesting, to say the least. Yes, I think it's unfair, but life sometimes is that way, isn't it? And I'm not blaming anyone for this. Life sometimes is that way. It's unfortunate that instead of celebrating the accomplishments of this football team, the accomplishments of these individual players that have done so much here, wearing the green and gold and representing Humboldt State University the way that they do, that we have to do so with this cloud of uncertainty out there. It's just too bad.
All right, thanks, Coach.